We've all seen the videos. The bold claims about counting beyond comprehension. The mind-bending idea that some infinities are bigger than others. But what does infinity really mean? And are these popular explanations truly capturing its essence, or are they leading us down a path of mathematical misunderstanding? The concept of infinity is inherently fascinating, pushing the boundaries of human thought. It's no surprise that it's a popular topic online. Creators, often drawing from readily available articles and a desire to make complex ideas engaging, rush to explain concepts like Cantor's different sizes of infinity. But sometimes, in the quest for viral content and simplified explanations, the nuance and precision of mathematics can get lost. We hear statements that sound like nonsensical arithmetic. Infinity plus infinity equals 16? Or perhaps infinity plus infinity equals 2 times infinity. And then there's the infamous flip of the infinity symbol suddenly becoming a starting point for counting? Let's take a step back and look at a settled definition. The Oxford Dictionary defines infinity as a number greater than any assignable quantity or countable number.
This definition is crucial. It immediately tells us that infinity isn't a specific number we can reach. It's a concept that describes something without limit, something that goes beyond any value we can name or any amount we can count to. The moment we try to assign a measurement unit or start counting towards it in the traditional sense, we're already misinterpreting its fundamental nature.
We are creatures of measurement. We understand the world through quantifying and comparing. But infinity resists this approach. You cannot measure your way to infinity, just as you cannot count your way there. These are processes that, by their very nature, imply an end, a limit, the antithesis of infinity.
Think of it this way. Any number you can conceive of, no matter how large, is still finite. Infinity is the idea that there's always something beyond that, an endless continuation. So trying to measure it with a finite unit is like trying to catch the wind in a jar. The tool is simply not suited for the task.
The desire to make infinity tangible often leads to analogies, but these can be deeply misleading if not carefully considered. Take the idea that if you can fill it with ice cream, it's not infinity. This analogy attempts to illustrate that any container has a finite capacity. While true for physical containers, it incorrectly equates mathematical infinity with a large but finite quantity. Mathematical infinity isn't about the amount of ice cream. It's about the concept of endlessness, a lack of a final scoop.
The issue here is conflating the abstract with the concrete. A physical space, even if vast, might be finite. Mathematical infinity is a property of sets or processes, not necessarily a physical container.
Then there's the saying, parallel lines meet at infinity. This idea, often taught in a simplified way, actually comes from the realm of projective geometry, a different system of geometry than the Euclidean geometry we typically learn in school. In Euclidean geometry, parallel lines never intersect. The concept of them meeting at infinity in projective geometry is a useful mathematical construct within that specific framework, but it's not a literal point in space you can reach.
It's a way of making certain mathematical formulas and concepts more elegant within projective geometry. It doesn't mean if you travel far enough along parallel lines, you'll suddenly find them converging in our everyday understanding of space.
And of course, the humorous notion that Chuck Norris has counted to infinity twice. While funny, this highlights the common misunderstanding of infinity as something that can be sequentially traversed and completed. Infinity, by definition, is never finished.
Jokes like these, while lighthearted, reinforce the idea that infinity is just a very, very large number. It's not. It's a fundamentally different concept.
Consider trying to find the last natural number. No matter how high you count, you can always add one more. This endless process illustrates the idea of potential infinity, but it never reaches a final infinity number. You offered insightful examples of how we use the term infinite in a more conceptual, everyday sense. Love for my kids is infinite speaks to a love that knows no bounds, a capacity that feels inexhaustible. It's not a quantity you can measure in heartbeats or hugs, but rather a feeling of limitless affection.
This is a beautiful way to understand the feeling of infinity, a sense of something without inherent limitation.
Similarly, when we say, right now, we do not know the size of space, so it's infinite, we are acknowledging our current inability to define its boundaries. It signifies a vastness that extends beyond our current measurements and understanding. The infinity here represents the unknown and potentially limitless nature of the cosmos for us.
It's important to distinguish this from a mathematical proof of infinite space. Our current cosmological models are still evolving. However, the concept of infinity provides a framework for considering possibilities beyond our current observational limits.
Infinity remains one of the most profound and challenging concepts in human thought. While popular science videos can spark interest, it's crucial to approach these explanations with a critical eye. True understanding requires acknowledging the abstract nature of infinity and recognizing the limitations of our everyday intuition and measurement-based thinking. Infinity isn't a finish line to be crossed or a number to be reached. It's a concept that pushes the very boundaries of what number and quantity even mean. Perhaps instead of trying to count to it or measure it, we should appreciate it for what it truly is, a symbol of the boundless, the endless, and the immeasurably vast. What are your thoughts on infinity? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this explanation helpful, please like and subscribe for more explorations into the fascinating world of science and mathematics.